Welcome to Vsb News Online for Friday, January the 23rd. I'm Charles Webb. In an unprecedented move for the Supreme Court of Bermuda, some 15 lawyers today walked out as the Director of Public Prosecutions, Rory Fields, rose to speak during the special sitting of the ceremonial opening of Bermuda's 2015 legal year. Their action was in protest of his reappointment to the post by the governor, who was present in the court along with the deputy governor and other legal, police, and parliamentary representatives. The lawyers, all in black robes, doffed their wigs and stood on the steps of the Supreme Court as the proceedings continued without them. Lawyer Elizabeth Christopher expressed hers and her learned friends' reason for the action.
I listened to the prelude to his remarks, and I think it was very impactful upon me because I think it was really hearkening to us all, I think, to take action in a sense. Not that he had any idea what we were going to do, and not that I know he has one position or the other with respect to the appointment. However, I know I can speak for myself. I'm doing what's right. You know, I believe that in taking this action, I'm a bit concerned. I'm, quite old, and I have my professional goals. It may impact my professional goals, but I think it's not just about this one appointment. I think what has happened to Ms. Clark resonates with a lot of us, and I think the decision that was made really ought to be changed.
Bermuda has been unfairly branded as a tax haven in the foreign media, American political circles, and of all places, London. In part 2 of an interview with Julian Miller, head of the Caribbean and Bermuda section of the Foreign and Commonwealth Office, I asked Mr. Miller if he could use his good offices to correct this.
I think from the UK we don't use the word tax havens about the overseas territories. I think there's a lot of progress has been made in recent years in making sure that Britain and some of the other overseas territories are actually leading the way and meeting international best practice. I think there are a lot of people around the world who will rather lazily just use the stereotype of tax havens, and maybe one can't find that. Fight that. But I think the important thing is perhaps not so much the label, but just to make sure that that everything is being done in terms of best international practice. And if you can satisfy people on that score, then maybe there's nothing you can do about people using the term tax haven, but in a proper examination of the subject and studying what actually goes on here, then one can see that there's a lot of probity in the way that things are run here, and it's Bermuda actually has a very good story to tell in terms of the financial services and the insurance business that Bermuda has here. I've really enjoyed my stay. I've had 4 days here. We've just had a meeting with the America's Cup team. So there's people are looking forward to that kind of thing. They're talking about that being perhaps being a catalyst for Bermuda moving forward. We talk with the tourism people who have a plan for trying to reverse that trend of falling tourism numbers or stagnating tourism numbers for Bermuda. We met the Bermuda Development Authority, and they're very enthusiastic about the Bermuda offer and trying to sell that. So, and then on some of the issues that we're working with around things like human rights and things like that, I think there's a lot of good people with their heart in the right place, determined to do the right thing. I think if you've got the right people and all pointing in the right direction, then those are good signs.
I understand you have a certain historical contact with the island.
Well, my grandfather was visited here in 1926. His brother, John Miller, married the then governor's daughter, Madeline Asser, who was the daughter of Sir John Asser, who was the governor at that time, and they got married in the cathedral. So it was interesting for me to go and see the outside of the cathedral, and they had a reception at Government House. And so I'm staying at Government House, so it's very interesting to see that and be somewhere where my grandfather was many times ago. So that's a nice, interesting personal connection for me with Bermuda.
So you were able to reminisce on some family history.
Yes, yes.
If the current recession is not bad enough, local residents are now facing ever greater frustration, the hacking theft of their funds from their local bank accounts. From reports reaching Vsb News, the situation is getting out of control, and Brian Darby has been trying to find a banker who's prepared to admit this.
Bermuda's banking industry and what is believed to be a large number of its clients are said to have been badly hit during the recent days by credit card hacking, which has left many victims facing a nightmare 20-day wait before their funds are being restored. HSBC is one of the banks involved, and after being approached by Vsb News, a spokeswoman produced the following statement. Fraudsters gaining access to customers' funds is a global issue and one that the bank takes very seriously. The bank fully understands that the actions of fraudsters has placed some of our customers in a very difficult position, and for this reason, reducing the time frame for the associated investigations is being actively addressed by the bank. Where we have been able to quickly ascertain the reason for a particular reported fraud, we have also been able to provide access to their funds within a 24-hour period. We encourage our customers who find themselves in this type of situation to immediately advise the bank so that we may work towards providing the best possible solution in their circumstances. End of statement. There appears to be a connection between some of the individual hacking victims and the Target store chain in the United States, but we have no official confirmation of this or any other stores that are used for online shopping by Bermudians. What the local victims would like to have been offered by their banks is a document that they can show to their landlords, utilities and other businesses, but this does not appear to be normal procedure at HSBC. Brian Darby reporting for Vsb News.
A large sinkhole caused by last year's hurricanes that has exposed the underside of Heritage Wharf in the Royal Naval Dockyard to the sea appears to be one of the most urgent repair jobs that will have to be carried out by WEDCO before the cruise ship season starts in April and the creation of America's Cup Village is begun. The project has been discussed at meetings between the Quango and the government as the extensive renovations that are to be carried out due to HMS Malabar complex, which had been allowed to fall into disrepair since the Royal Navy left Bermuda. And we'll be back with more news right after this.
The Marketplace Food Court is you and your family's one-stop shop. Start your day at the Breakfast Bar with omelets made to order and traditional Bermuda codfish breakfast. The chefs will cook lunch and dinner to your liking. Along with the salad bar, sandwich bar, sushi bar, and fruit bar, the Marketplace Food Court is your kitchen away from home. Every day is hassle-free with nutritious meals from the Marketplace Food Court. Visit us 7 days a week. Homemade cooking, quality service, all at prices you can count on.
Throngs of onlookers gathered at the City Hall today for the official opening of Bermuda Festival by the Governor, George Ferguson. Members of the English Chamber Orchestra, a smattering of musicians from a variety of schools and some parents welcomed the Governor with a fanfare entitled Reach Out and written by Major Dwight Robinson, Director of Music for the Bermuda Regiment. I asked him what inspired him to write the music.
Well, I was asked early last summer if I would be interested in writing the tune for the festival's anniversary year. And my schedule being what it is with the regiment, I couldn't readily give them a definitive answer. But as the year progressed, we managed to work things out. So it came as a request, actually. Would I be able to do it? And eventually I said, yeah, sure, I'd like to try something. Writing, unfortunately, is not something that I have a lot of time to do, so I don't get a chance to do it very often. But I was quite happy for this opportunity to do so.
So why Reach Out?
Part of the festival is to develop, to my understanding at least, is to assist in developing the younger musicians on the island. And any musical organization, any musical event has some form of outreach program. So it really was just a play on words. From outreach, we just turned it around and make it reach out. Yeah. And also, I tried to use that, try to play on that in the compositional style. There's a little figure in there. It's what we call an octave transfer, and that happens periodically throughout the piece. And you're going from a lower note, you're reaching up to a higher note. So,
can we count on hearing this tune more often?
Anything is possible. We're playing it a couple of times today, and the festival may take it on and decide that it would be rescored for different ensembles. The Regiment Band, as most people will know, I'm the director of music there. We may have to rescore it, and we could certainly use that in our performances as well. So there is a possibility that that might happen.
After years of pretending it does not exist, the Bermuda government has finally accepted that there is such a thing as climate change and has put it on the agenda for future discussion as part of its energy policy. This was revealed yesterday when the Department of Energy held a workshop attended by 80 stakeholders. They included business leaders, representatives of the renewable energy sector, green businesses, local financiers, and Balco. Also included were Green Rock and BEST. There were several topics of discussion ranging from the affordability of renewable energy, controlling access to the grid in an organized and fair manner, and climate change. The previous government created a climate change commission that never met, and the current OBA government has made no moves until now to have a local group study the impact of global warming on Bermuda. When new Education Minister Wayne Scott made his first official visit to Cedar Bridge Academy this week, he was able to have a lengthy discussion with student leaders on their expectations of his ministry. He said today there was no hesitation when he asked for comments. They shared their concerns regarding consistency with testing and graduation requirements, increasing opportunities at the middle school, and insisting on raising the bar so that all students can perform at a higher level. The minister was impressed by the manner in which the students supported the school administration and the opportunities being offered them at Cedar Bridge. It was just one visit on a busy week of visits to such people in places as Purvis Primary School, the Child Development Program, the Bermuda Union of Teachers, and the school administrators. And now we turn to Earl Baisden with the latest from the sports desk.
Bermuda's bid to advance across the first round of the FIFA 2018 World Cup qualifiers is underway right here at the Bermuda Football Association's training ground. Coach Andrew Bascom is putting some of the overseas college players and some local-based players through their paces here at a training camp. Having the players available to you for the short period of time does that give you an opportunity to increase the intensity and getting to know the players that are from different clubs?
Yeah, well, what it does, it gives an opportunity to get players to understand their roles and responsibilities within the system. We might play between 2 or 3 different systems, but we have a system of preference. But it's important that they understand their roles, you know, so we have to continue repetition, a lot of tactical work, blackboard video analysis.
Now, obviously, we know very little about our competition that we're going to be facing, but we want to make sure that we're ready for anything thrown at us, and we want to be able to throw a lot at them. What are some of the particular things you want to be working on in this short space of time, getting ready for the end of March?
Conditioning, movement of the ball, making sure first touch, understanding our system, set plays, defensive organization, you know, where we're going to sit the block, if we're going to sit it high, sit it low. So there's a lot of things that have to be accomplished within this period of time, but it's more tactical work, you know, and decision making and game intelligence, and that's what's going to get the players in the team.
Now, the fact that we have so many youngsters abroad in school, playing professionally, playing semi-professionally, does that add pressure to the fact that we should be advancing, or is that just a credence to what our football standard has been over the years and the fact that we have so many in school doing well and abroad?
Yeah, I'm sure it adds to percentages as far as success, but we can never underestimate the opposition neither. You know, everyone has a hard desire. We have to make sure that we don't underestimate them, and we prepare both collectively and individually once the players are away from the group. You know, that's also part of the preparation. So it's important that we be humble and we play hard and we be hard to beat.
Mansfield Town winger Reggie Lamb has told HucknallDispatch.co he is hopeful he may add another cap to his international collection soon, but stressed it would always be club before country for him. Bermuda are about to start playing their World Cup qualifying games, and contact has been made with Mansfield about the possibility of the 23-year-old Lamb flying back home to take part. Lamb is quoted as saying, "They are eager to get me back to play one of the matches. I have given them the contact for the club and I don't want to be involved. If they release me or don't, I'm happy either way." He goes on to say, "I believe the matches are World Cup qualifiers. It would be good if I can play for my country as I love to play for my country. It is good to be around players I played with when I was growing up. It would be also good to be reunited with Naki Wells, who's playing at Huddersfield Town, who I've not played with for a while. But I have a job to do here and club comes first." End quote. Jessica Lewis began taking part in the 2015 Summer Down Under track meet at the AIS Athletic Track in Australia. Lewis finished third in the T53 women's 200-meter wheelchair race, crossing the line at a time of 41:33. Lewis finished fourth in the women's 400-meter sprint wheelchair race with a time of 1:17:32. This after rain poured throughout the event. DeVoe Whaley is one of the more talented athletes in the 2016 class in American football. The Bermuda Central product is a 4-year star prospect with 14 offers to date with the likes of Baylor, Texas A&M, Arkansas, Oklahoma, TCU, Texas Tech, SMU, and Texas all vying for the youngster's signature. The talented junior who plays running back and safety for Bermuda Central has 2 more visits planned for this spring. That will be at A&M on January 25th and Baylor on January 31st. The 2015 Commonwealth Youth Games are fast approaching. The Games, which are a smaller version of the Commonwealth Games, is designed for youth of the 71 Commonwealth countries. The Games will take place September 5th through the 7th in Western Samoa. All competitors in the Commonwealth Youth Games will be a minimum of 14 and a maximum of 18 years of age. The Samoa Youth Games list of sports are confirmed, and they include archery, men and women singles recurve. The ages for that are 16 to 17. Athletics, men's and women's, ages are 16 and 17. Boxing, men 17 to 18. Lawn bowls, men and women 14 to 18. Rugby sevens is men and women to 17 and 18. Swimming for men is 15 to 18 years of age, and swimming for women is 14 to 17. Squash, the men and women, both ages are between 14 and 18, with tennis, men and women, 15 to 18. Weightlifting age group is men and women, 13 to 17. I'm Earl Basden reporting for VSB Sports.
Looking at the weather for Saturday, January the 24th, there will be sunny periods, rain and showers developing at night, and a chance of thunder. Winds southerly, light to moderate, increasing moderate by noon, then moderate to strong in the afternoon. Further increasing southwesterly, strong to gale force in the evening and overnight, with gusts to storm force, especially in elevated and exposed areas. We are expecting a high of near 72 and a low of near 62. This weather report is courtesy of the Bermuda Weather Service. Thanks for watching VSB News Online for Friday, January the 23rd. I'm Charles Webb.